All right, guys, got another AP daily video for you. Know you guys love it, so I'm gonna keep them coming. So we're gonna be talking about pluralism versus corporatism. So first, we need to talk about interest groups and how they connect. So interest groups, like we talked about earlier, are organizations that have one goal, interest, policy, etc. And they're found in both authoritarian and democratic regimes. So now, how do they connect? Well, in a pluralist society, or system. Obviously, the plural means many. That references that multiple interest groups are going to compete for government money or attention. So for each interest, there are multiple groups competing, and there's no official government connection there. They're created by the people. So in this case, it's interests that are coming from the ground up, not the top down. Um, and this kind of promotes the idea of, or this kind of goes hand in hand with the idea of civil liberties, and civil society. Where there's thriving civil society, there will likely be pluralism, and it's obviously competitive in nature, which thrives in democratic regimes, as does civil society. So, uh, contrasting that to corporatism, um, corporatism is essentially the exact opposite. It's only one group per issue, and there is an established connection in this case between that interest group and the government, as the groups are actually created by the state. So in that case, it's kind of top-down idealism, kind of filtering down, as the governments kind of create the groups that are vying for these interests. These are oftentimes found in authoritarian regimes and in places where civil society is restricted, as we will see with our AP country examples. Um, so now we're going to talk about the UK. Obviously, this is the most democratic out of the six countries that we study, very similar to the US. Thriving civil society and democracy promotes pluralist interest. So it is definitely pluralist. Next, Mexico. It actually had a corporatist past, but as we're transitioning to these free and fair elections, and it's really uh, becoming a stronger democracy, it's also becoming pluralist, just as civil society is also growing. Nigeria is also pluralist, maybe less so than the UK, but it certainly has a strong civil society. There's less government control of ideology, less censorship. So it's also going to be pluralist. Iran, as you can maybe imagine, it's going to be corporatist. You have the government strongly controlled by religion there, and that's going to control civil society and free speech and thought a little bit, and it's going to be a corporate society or system rather. Next, Russia. Obviously, they have a lot of censorship, and the government controls its citizens. It's going to be corporatist, not really surprised there. And then also similarly in China, authoritarian regime, Communist Party controlling ideology, going to be corporatist, having another way to control the citizens' belief, as that kind of the interest that they choose starts at the top with the government and then kind of trickles down into society. And obviously, we can see there limited civil society that matches up, which really, makes sense. Not really many surprises here. That's all we got for today. Thanks.